cyber resilience is an interesting concept. What I would say is really what underpins this is actually it's your business resilience. And the shorthand of that is your ability to deliver a business service. So to be frank, given that most organizations now rely so heavily on the constant and active engagement of their IT systems, it's very hard to imagine a state where the organization, your organizations, could really exist without its IT. But what we need you to do is to really focus your attention. Now, having seen those polls, there seems to be an awful lot of A, unsure, and B, very poor or very low levels of focus on IT. And with that IT, the cybersecurity. We would typically expect organizations to be spending between 8 and 12% of their IT budget on cybersecurity, which is an interesting number. And it varies quite considerably, style, size, complexity of the organization, but also where you draw the boundaries of cybersecurity. As Richard was kind enough to mention earlier, we see cybersecurity very much as a people, process, and technology concept. And you've really got to drive out of your mind the fact that cybersecurity is an IT problem with an IT solution. This really is a whole firm problem. And looking again at some of those questions and the results, this idea of, do you hold people to account? Do you punish people for letting people in? I would suggest is actually the wrong way around. When I was chief security officer of a very large, very dull Swiss bank, we had a clear desk policy. And the concept there was you didn't go around and put a big note on the desk of somebody who had left something out. Actually, you went round and put a chocolate on the desk of the people, wrapped, of course, for health and safety reasons, but you left a chocolate on the desk of the people who'd done the right thing. And that whole concept of doing the right thing is one element that does underpin good cybersecurity. So in the conversations with your IT team, in conversations with your chief information officer, ask them, what are they doing to make it easy for your people to do the right thing? People often go, oh, well, if we send them phishing, emails, and if they click on it, then they get told off or they get punished. To be honest, the research suggests that that isn't the way forward. Yes, you might want to give them additional training and advice, but actually a no blame culture is a better way of engaging with people, encouraging people to do the right thing, supporting them to do the right thing, and making it easy to do the right thing. So if your people need to share data, ask your IT team to set up a secure way of doing it. So the board and your executive need to be providing focus. I was horrified to see, somebody replying to that poll where they said they considered cybersecurity not to be a board issue. I think you are a significant outlier. And to be honest, if you end up at the receiving end of a cyber breach, the ICO and other investigators are going to take a very, very dim view if cybersecurity hasn't been a board level consideration. We've just seen Tucker's fined £98,000 by the ICO, one of the first ICO fines post GDPR, for their failure to introduce basic levels of cybersecurity. And to be honest, they've had a reputational hit on that. It's now led them to have to spend an awful lot more money on securing their estate. So my suggestion to you would be, let's not wait until post-event. Build your resilience now. Train, test, support your people so that they know what they've got to do. And that means all the way up to board level, gold team, crisis management exercises, where you look to ensure that your top team, your senior leadership team, are well prepared, that they've developed the muscle memory such that they know what they're going to do. And we see time and time again, organizations that have planned and prepared come out of a cyber incident far, far better. And please don't be like one client I ended up dealing with just 2 weeks ago, where CEO head in hands going, why us? Why were we attacked? We're just a small company. We don't have any secrets. And by the time I talked him through the information that he did hold, and the value that that would be to the criminal, the financially motivated criminals. You could see the lights coming on, but that's too late. He's already suffered. You need to build in that resilience, that ability to deliver business service by focusing on your detection and response capabilities. If they really want to, the bad guys and girls are going to get into your system. But if you can detect them and respond to that in as quickly and as efficient manner as possible, with good backups, with good preparation, then you will lead yourself in a much, much better place. You will have identified which business services you need to get back up and running most quickly. You will have developed that stakeholder mapping so you know who you're going to be talking to. And don't forget, as senior leaders yourself, you are going to be picking up the phone to your stakeholders to ask them for support, to ask them for time whilst you resolve the problem, and convincing them that you will continue to deliver that business service to them. But that's going to be something you need to be ready to do. You need to be prepared for it and have that understanding of what's happening, what your plan is, what your strategy is, and where you're going. And all of this is going to be underpinned by an enormous level of ambiguity, because you're not going to know the details and the facts, but you're still going to have to set a strategy and take decisions. And you're not going to know because any investigation will take time. And it's going to take time for you to bring the right people together. You're going to need external resources. The chances of you being able to deal with this on your own are very, very slim. You're going to need those people in the room, virtually, presumably at the moment, but you're going to need that support. So your people need to be ready. You need to be ready in order to drive resilience across the organization. Don't leave it. Do it now. It's not too late. We haven't seen very high levels of cyber attacks coming out of the Ukraine situation. We think that, I mean, they certainly have been very heavily focused on Ukrainian, Belarusian, Russian organizations. And companies with links into those countries are going to probably see the wash off of cyber attacks that are happening locally into their systems. But we haven't seen that mass targeting of Western organizations that many people expected. So you've still got time. Get yourself in the right place and become more resilient. Thank you, Richard.